Good triumph over evil. With gentleness, overcome anger. With charity, overcome stinginess. With truth, overcome deceit. This the Buddha taught. When the Lord was stormed by Mara, challenged to a battle by Alavaka, and attacked by the ferocious elephant, Nalagiri, he subdued them all with his perfection of giving, patience, and all-embracing love. By the power of that spiritual glory, may joyous victory be yours.
You too, and a very good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Welcome to the Sunday Puja and Dharma sharing online, organized by Maha Satipatthana Buddhist Society and supported by Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia. Today is the 16th of January 2022. And today, Brother Casey will be showing us how to spring clean. Anyway, we wish everyone listening to be safe and healthy. Today's Sunday Puja is hosted by Sister Kut and Brother Tan. Now, I shall pass the mic over to Sister Kut.
Thank you, Brother Terence. Suki Hotu and good morning. A very happy Sunday that we are able to gather together, for the Sunday Puja. Many of us are doing our New Year cleaning, our spring cleaning, and our New Year preparation. So it is a very busy time for us. And Brother Casey is going to talk about spring cleaning also. I wonder what he's going to talk about. Is it to spring clean our house? Well, we will listen later. All right, now let us calm our minds and prepare ourselves as I read the offerings that we have on the altar and its significance. Offering of lights. May we offer these candles burning brightly out of deep respect and veneration to our enlightened master, the Buddha. May these lights symbolically guide us to the light of the Dharma, which dispels the darkness of greed with the light of generosity, the gloominess of hatred with the light of love, and the darkness of ignorance with the light of wisdom through the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Offering of joss sticks and incense. May we offer these joss sticks and incense out of deep respect and veneration to our blessed Master, the Buddha. May the fragrance of these joss sticks remind us to cultivate compassion, patience, tolerance, understanding, and love towards all living beings. Offering of water. May we offer this water to symbolize our aspiration to cultivate the virtues of calmness, clarity, and purity. It should remind us to diligently cleanse ourselves of our spiritual defilements and delusions through the cultivation of generosity, compassion, and wisdom. Offering of flowers. These flowers too we offer out of deep respect and gratitude to our compassionate Master, the Buddha. These flowers, sweet, beautiful, and choice, are clustered at the feet of our noble Master. Beautiful as they are now, they will soon, with the passing of time, wilt and fade and be cast away. Reflecting thus on this very nature of unsatisfactoriness, impermanence, and soullessness, let us tread the path shown by the Buddha for the eradication of suffering here and now. Now let us begin the Sunday Puja chanting by paying respect to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. We shall now say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadhatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Iti piso bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vidyacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manus Sanang Buddha Bhagavati Sakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Eipasiko Opanaiko Pachatang Veditabo Vinyaviti Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Ahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punya Ketang Lokasati Vandami Chetiyang Sabbang Sabbatani Supatititang Saririka Dhatu Mahabodhing Buddharupang Sakalang Sada Yasamule Nisinnova Sabbari Vijayang Aka Pato Sabbanyutang Satta Vande Tang Bodhipadapang Ime ete Mahabodhi Lokanatena Pujita Ahang Pite Namasami Bodhiraja Namatute Ganasarapaditena Dipena Tamadang Sinang Tilokadipang Sambuddhang Pujayami Tamonudang Ganda Sambara Yuttena Dupena Hang Sugandhina Pujaye Pujaniyantang Puja Bhajana Mottamang Adivase tu no bante aniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigang hatu muttamang adivase tu no bante gilana paccayang imang anukampang upadaya patigang hatu muttamang vanaganda punopet tang etang kusuma santating pujayami munindasa siripada saroruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena cahotu mokkang topang milayati yataidang me kayo tata yati vinasa bhavang akasatta ca bummatta devanaga mahitika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu loka sasanang Akasatta cha bhummata devanaga mahidika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanang akasatta cha bhummata devanaga mahidika punyantang anumodetva chirang rakhantu mang parang devo vasatu kalena sasa sampatti hetuja pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanibbana patya kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante Buri panya tathagata kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sandittika akalika kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara Karaniya Metta Sutta Karaniya Matta Kusalena Yattang Santang Padang Abhisamecha Sakko juja sujuja suvacho cha samudu anatimani santo sako cha suvarocha appakicho cha salahukavoti santindriyo cha nipako cha appagabbo kulesu ananugiddo Nacha kodang samachare kinchi yena vinyo hare upavadeyam sukino vakemino honto sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta ye kechipana bhutati tasavata varava anavasesa digava ye mahantava majjhimarasa kanukatula dittava yeva attitta ye chadure vasanti avidure bhutava sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta naparo parang nikubbeta nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi vyarosana patika sanya nanya manyasa dukkha michaya matayatani yang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakhe evang pisabba bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang Tang cha sabbalokasmin manasang bhavaye aparimanang Buddhang adocha tiriyancha asangbadang averang asapatang titang charang nisinova sayanova yavatassa vigatamiddo etang sating aditeya brahmametang viharang idamahu Dittincanupagama silava dasanena sampanno kame suvinaya gedang nahi jatu gapmaseyang punaretiti etena saccavajjena Satite hotu sabbada etena saccavajjena satite hotu sabbada etena saccavajjena satite hotu sabbada. By this declaration of the truth, may we all be well, happy, and peaceful at all times. We shall now end today's puja by saying sadhu 3 times and paying homage to the triple gem. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Over to you, Brother Terence.
Very much. It's good. Now, it's been quite some time since Brother Casey is with us. We are glad to have him with us to share on the spring cleaning since it's the season. So let's see how he's going to spring clean our mind or house. Over to you, Brother Casey.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the introduction, Brother Terence. Glad morning again, brothers and sisters. I thank you for joining this morning Dharma sharing entitled Spring Cleaning. Yeah, so this spring cleaning is a season on the 1st of February. All the, especially Chinese in Malaysia, will be preparing for the Chinese New Year. And spring cleaning is going to be the word. Yeah, everybody talk about spring cleaning and spring cleaning. So I thought today's sharing, I will use the theme spring cleaning and try to relay spring cleaning in relation to what our great teacher taught. Yeah. So we try to use the word spring cleaning and link it back to what the Buddha taught us in terms of spring cleaning the mind. Right. So let me share the screen. Okay, before I start, let me pay homage to our great teacher, the Blessed One, the fully enlightened one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we know spring is going to come in. Winter is gone. And all the majority of the Chinese family will be starting off a massive annual spring cleaning. I use the word annual because it seems like some house owner only spring clean once a year. And the rest of the time they don't do much, you know. But if you link this back to the Chinese community in China, in mainland China, you know, they have this winter season when the winter is over, spring comes in. And you can see that, a lot of this Chinese family will start cleaning up the property, because during the winter time, they would have stored so much food, and some of this food they have stored would have gone moldy, During the winter time, they do not, they are less mobile, because it's cold. They tend to be a little bit less mobile, and they do not clean up the house. So spring cleaning to a Chinese community in mainland China makes a lot of sense, So they have one massive cleaning to welcome the new year, and then they lead through the rest of the days over the years. But the Chinese community in Malaysia also adopted the same concept. Even though we don't have winter here, we are hot throughout the year. We still think like, there's winter, spring coming. In most houses, start decorating the house to look like a Chinese house, with mei hua here and there, buying these artificial flowers and decorating the whole thing. But the emphasis of the spring cleaning, I want to pick some word from here, that is to declutter, or to remove unwanted things. There's a word that I always use, declutter. Throw away things that we don't need and make the house a little bit more organized, right? Because over the years we'll be buying more things. That's why you need some space. So the old thing will be thrown away to have space for the new thing to come into the home. So that's what we see annually as a ritual in Chinese families before the new year. Massive spring cleaning takes place. Okay, let's look at how things get slowly piled up in our house. Now, some of the things that get piled up in our house are things that are invited, especially cobwebs, spider webs in the corner. We don't touch them, or we don't even look at the corners. Some areas that we don't even use it. So cobwebs will slowly, one spider comes in, then they will multiply very quickly with many more baby spiders, the corners. And then you see the cobwebs are on the left, on the right, on the corner, and all that. And because things are kept over time, and other invited visitors also come to the house, especially cockroaches, ants, and all that, start to come in and make nests, because the place is left untouched for a period of time. So all these uninvited things come along. We also keep things like, things that we think we want, and then also things that we have sentimental value. This is given to me by my dad or my friend or my birthday gift and all that, but we don't need them. So all these are all kept in a box, and the box is then pushed into the storeroom or even cupboards, and they'll be there over the years. Some will stay with us for many years, especially old clothing. The one that you like to wear when you were younger, and we like to wear that dress, and it fit our body, but our body has changed, so we can't fit our body. We still have to hang it there, you got to fold it up, and we keep it, periodically, annually, when you do spring, you take it out and say, oh, this is the dress I used to wear, or the shirt I used to wear, or pants I used to wear, and you try it on, you can't fit your body, but you still keep it, So we think all these have very sentimental value. We just keep and keep and keep, and we don't realize that all this thing that we keep in a house take up space, take up space. And over time, if we don't declutter fast enough, all this will start to it become a burden to us. Over time, we have to take the boxes out, and then maybe out of the box we remove and throw away 10%, we keep 90%, and then we got more things over the years. We add. So that's how the whole mass of things come to our house, from toys, from old clothing, crockeries, plates. We keep buying new plates. Old plates don't throw. We see, I think I like this plate. I like that now. So things start to accumulate in our house. So that is the nature of us wanting to keep things we think is valuable, and we keep it, and then we look at it, and annually we take it out, we clean it, and we keep it again. That's what we do over the years. So I'm trying to relate this process with what the Buddha has taught us. This is physical. All these things that we keep in the house are all very physical. You can see it, you can take it out, you can examine it. But the one that Buddha wants us to spend time on is actually spring clean the mind. The mind in Buddhism is the most important thing that we should pay attention to. So I'm trying to formulate here the similarities of spring cleaning our house and spring cleaning the mind. All right? House is physical, so you can see the things that we keep, things that we want, things that we do not want, we also keep. All right? That's how things get cluttered, and then we're going to declutter them. But in the case of mind, they are mostly non-physical. You can't see it, but it's there. It's through the three doors. We always talk about Buddhism, we always talk about three doors, through our thinking, our mind, through our body, and our speech. We accumulate a lot of these unwanted things, right? So without being aware, the whole year, or even every day and every week and every month and over the years, we have generated a lot of these ways. Some are good ways, some are bad ones. So we accumulate a lot of this and we store them. Where do we store them? We don't store in the house, we store them in our mind, our memory. Our memory is a very fantastic storage. It's huge, it's limited in capacity. The moment you see something like what I've discussed in my previous sharing, that we are trapped, it all starts with our six sense doors. Yeah, six sense doors. It's through these sense doors stimuli come in contact with us, and our mind will recognize it, store it, and this become the ways that we carry through our life journey in samsara. Not only this life, many lives we have been collecting so many things, and it's all stored in the mind. But in Buddhism, generally we say three words, a non-physical thing that we always clutter ourselves in our mind. We clutter it in our mind is always referred as the three unwholesome roots, or three poisons. Some people will use the word three poisons. Some will use the word three unwholesome roots, which is greed, hatred, and delusion. So we know that this mega word like greed, hatred, delusion has a lot of babies on it. They have a lot of sub behaviors out of it. So usually we put all the little behaviors that either we think or we speak or we act it out, all is actually the mother of it, the root of it comes from either greed, hatred, or delusion. This is the larger root that holds all the small roots. Like for example, your anxiety, your anger, or your jealousy, all comes from this one large root, the three large roots. So what we have to do is that we need to constantly declutter them. The mind part is that if you leave it too long, without realizing that all this accumulate in the mind, and it becomes very thick. It becomes so thick that it's not easy to clean it in one day. Physical house cleaning, you can take 1.5 days, you completely clean up the physical, you can declutter the house quite easily because these are physical things. But in the case of mind, we cannot remember what was a previous life like. We have collected so much and we are collecting more in this life. All becomes more and more and more. So if we don't constantly declutter it, then it becomes a massive work. I'm trying to relate this to our spring cleaning the house. So spring cleaning, usually we use three standard techniques. I think we sweep, right? We sweep. Sweeping. Sweeping is the easiest thing to do because it's least effort. You take a broom, you sweep. You do remove some of the dust in your house. Okay, you don't like sweeping, then you do a little bit more tedious one. It's called mopping. You're going to take a pail of water, you're going to squeeze the mop, and you just mop. So between sweeping and mopping is cleaner. Mopping cleans better than the sweeping. And definitely the last method is that you've got to scrub. Very stubborn dirt that you have accumulated in your house, you've got to scrub them. So generally we got these three physical ways to keep the house clean. We sweep, we mop, and then we scrub. Likewise, in the mind, we also need to do the three methods, the easy one, the not so easy one, the most difficult one. So we have three different techniques of applying it. So I'm trying to relate this so that you can remember to declutter the mind. We also can apply some of the physical things that we are familiar and apply to the mind. But before we can do that, we have to understand what are all this dirt that is accumulated in the mind? Now, what are these dirt? Dirt. In Buddhism, we say these are defilement, 𝐾𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐴, something called, Pali is called 𝐾𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐴. English has many related words to this word 𝐾𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐴, but generally we use the word defilement. Defilement, or it could be a dirt, it could be a stain. Some of you say stain, some say dirt, some say defilement. So different texts will use different things. So we got to remove all this unwanted thing on a gradual basis, constantly declutter all this dirt from our mind. So let's look at what is in the sutta. So you can look at this, the level of defilements, Yeah, so we start from the very gross defilement, the one right at the base, the defilement, gross defilement, this one there. So this is usually referred in the text as transgression. When you read the sutta, the Buddha says you have transgressed. This is very gross defilement, right? Pali word is vittikama, right? The Pali word is vittikama. So this gross defilement, and it's mentioned in the text that this kind of defilement can be overcome by morality, sila. Pali word is sila. So from this word itself, we can link this first level of decluttering you're going to do, or to practice this constantly to keep the mind peaceful, clean, so as clean as we can, is to practice, what we have just chanted in the morning, just not long ago, Panatipata Veramani. So the 5 precepts is the first level of defense. Yeah, the gross defilement are things which are very visible. For example, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech. Then, taking intoxicant and drug that will influence the way our mind think. So the 5 gross defilement, which is visible, given in the text, okay, can be overcome by practicing the 5 precepts. That's the reason why, every morning we chant the 5 precepts to remind ourselves to practice this first level of cleaning. Okay, the way to clean the mind is we can if we practice the 5 precepts, then it is the first defense, first defense to remove all these defilements from accumulating in our mind. So let me repeat again. You can use the 5 precepts as a first defense. This is like sweeping. 5 defense is like sweeping, which is quite easy to. I can't say it's quite easy. Some of them find it very difficult. Even like restraining, we say the chanting says we restrain from, isn't it? We restrain from taking the life of another being. So that reminds us. Last time we do the chanting every morning. Hopefully that stays with us, and then we remind ourselves to restrain from these 5 moral practices. That's the first level. Then the second one is a bit more subtle defilements. Okay, this is manifestation. It's something else, but it's manifested, through our thinking, through our speech, and through our bodily action. Right? It can manifest it. Some of the very common ones that we see is like jealousy, anger. These are manifested. There's some other reason, but it's showing here. Yeah, it's subtle, condition, set it to arise, which you can still see, but it's less than the transgression. Transgression is very gross, very visible. Subtle is a little bit more not that visible, but it shows, but you note it, it shows that you can actually practice as well to overcome this form of defilements. So in the text, the manifestation, pariyuttana, defilements, pariyuttana kilesa. So this can be overcome by concentration, practicing of samadhi. So you can see the method given by the Buddha is pretty gradual, gradual way for us to declutter the mind. Not immediately the more difficult, the very easy one. Keep your morality, keep your sila. And then when you got time, start to understand that the subtle defilements can be overcome by samadhi. You need to have strong concentration. The mind must be developed to a point where it can stop. It can stop things that you intend to do. Let's say unwholesome thought arises. You can stop it because you've got strong concentration. You're mindful and you can stop the mind from progressing. Yeah. So this is a topic by itself, so I can't spend time talking about number two, but we know that there is a formula to overcome the subtle defilement. That is through samadhi, practice of samatha meditation, calming the mind. There are many techniques that has been taught by the Buddha. If you got time, if you got a bit of time, even though you don't attend any meditation retreat, on your own, you can start by investigating the mind. Just sit quietly in one corner and just observe your mind. See how your mind runs. Just by observing the mind, you know, oh, wow, this mind is not easy. It's just like they say a monkey mind. They use the word monkey mind to describe constantly jumping from one thing to another. So last of all is the anusaya, kilesas, which is dormant defilement, latent. Latent means is deeply rooted. It doesn't show. Yeah, it shows when the condition arises. Even when it shows, right, you are also deluded, you know. You do not know that you have it. This only can be overcome by wisdom, panya, developing of insight meditation. That's why when you talk about Buddhist practices for mind cleaning, we always talk about samatha and vipassana combined. Samatha does the concentration part, calming focus on one object, so your mind becomes still and calm, and that can be used to overcome the subtle defilements. Okay, and then the next one is the using the stable mind, the samadhi mind, to look at the real phenomena of things, which is the insight aspect, which is generally referred as the vipassana level. Yeah, understanding the true nature of things. Okay, so you can see from here there's a lot of technique which has been shown by the Buddha. In one of my Dharma sharing, I also have spent some time talking about the 5 hindrances. In my last year discussion, I did spend some time talking about the 5 hindrances and then how to overcome the 5 hindrances. So the 5 mental hindrances is actually a form of defilements, which has been well documented in the suttas, you know, the mental defilements. So just to run through that 5 mental hindrances, the first mental hindrance that we have to overcome through this process of meditation is sensual desire. Yeah, the first hindrance is always sensual desire. That we are always drawn to things through the 6 sense doors. You know, we are always drawn away by the 6 sense doors. And then number 2 is ill will, disliking, aversion of things like ill will. It's also a mental defilements. And then sloth and torpor is this got to do with our body energy, which is low. We tend to be sleepy. Sloth and torpor is also a mental hindrance. And then we have restlessness and worry. That's number 4. And finally, the doubt. Yeah, so 5. So these 5 mental hindrances is well described in the sutta. That as a practitioner, as a Buddhist practitioner, we have to know these are the defilements, the dirt that get clouded in our mind, and we got to recognize them. And then the Buddha has also come up with ways to overcome them. Like how do you tackle, how do you resolve these 5 hindrances? Okay, so now you know that the mind has levels of defilements, dirt. stain, we call them. Sometimes it's a dirt, sometimes it's a stain. So we have different technique to do it. So the first technique is like sweeping. The second technique is like mopping. And the third technique is like scrubbing. Like you got to scrub it. You really got to scrub it. If you don't scrub it, the dirt will never come out. Okay. All right. Then let's look at the cleaning effort. So in the sutra also under the Samyutta Nikaya 45.8, Magga Vibhagga Sutta, the Buddha described the 4 kinds of right effort. Yeah, if we don't put effort, well, we won't be doing anything. We just let things be. So if we now realize that the mind requires some form of cleaning, so the first thing we need to do is that we need to have this determination, the desire to wanting to do. So we say, okay, let's look at the method spoken by the Buddha, which are the right effort. You can see I got the green side and the red side. The green side means wholesome. These are the wholesome roots, wholesome things that we are thinking right now in the mind. And the red side are the unwholesome thing the mind is drawn to. So you can see the unwholesome side, there are 2 ways of tackling it. So an unwholesome thing arises in the mind, already a reason in the mind, we can overcome it. We put effort to stop it from progressing further. So if the unwholesome thought hasn't arisen, we avoid it. We even avoid it, even don't think about it, because the moment you think about it, it arises. So the best way to do is that don't think about the unwholesome thing. So if the unwholesome thought has a reason, then you overcome it by replacing with something more wholesome. Think of the something more wholesome. In my discussion last session during the topic called We Are Trapped, I have referred to one sutta called the Mulaka Sutra. Yeah, I hope you all still remember, for those who have followed the class, the Mulaka Sutra under Anguttara Nikaya 10.58. The Buddha did mention the, what do you call it, the cause of arising of things. And the mula means like Malay word, the beginning, the root, the beginning of everything starts with the desire. Yeah, wanting to, the desire. Right? I think if you a little bit more observant of your mind, you usually know that everything you do, everything you say, everything you act on, it arises because there is a desire. The mind tells you first, you just don't walk on. The mind asks you to walk. Sometimes because it's done unconsciously, you think you're walking, but actually there is something else that asks you to walk on. But it's just that you cannot recognize it. You thought you were just walking, but no. But if you're really mindful, you know that the thought arises first. There's a desire to do something, and then the action comes about. And then from there, we also, from the Mulaka Sutra, we also talk about the desire arises, then the attention. The second thing is the attention. The desire arises, whether we are applying wise attention or unwise attention that leads you to act. Okay, so it's always desire leading on to something. So desire arises, then attention kicks in. When attention kicks in, you want to do something, then whether it's unwholesome attention or wholesome attention. If it's wholesome, then usually your action will be wholesome. And wholesome attention, then your action becomes unwholesome. So just pay attention and just be observant a bit on your one activity that you're doing, and just try to apply the Dharma. The Buddha's teaching is very deep and subtle. Unless you do some reflection on things, an action that you have done, you try to apply what the Buddha say and against what you have just acted it out. You can see there is this thing, desire leading to attention, and then you move on to do it. Yeah, you move on to do it. So that's how you can use right effort to trap it. And then the wholesome attention, there are two possible efforts you can apply. That is, if a wholesome intention, already a reason, you maintain it. Good ones, you just keep it. And then those yet to be a reason, you develop it, you encourage it more. Okay, so I can take an example of, like, for example, you can practice Brahma Vihara, the 4 Brahma Vihara on a daily basis, for example. You know, there's Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha. The 4 Brahma Viharas. These are wholesome state of mind. If you want to practice this wholesome state of mind, you can apply the right effort on the green side. So when you have Metta already in you, you maintain it. Assuming that Karuna is still not arising, you develop it. Okay, right? So you can develop that way to increase the wholesomeness of the mind, so our mind doesn't get cluttered with a lot of unwholesome thinking. Okay, so let me move on to spring cleaning the mind with awareness. So you can see in the suttas again and again, the Buddha has came up with this important formula, sati. In fact, is one of the 7 factors, the 7 factors in the Noble Eightfold Path, Samma Sati. And then Samma Samadhi, the 8th factor is Samma Samadhi. So you can see Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi, they are like, they're like twins that come together. Samma Sati, if you got Sati, strong mindfulness, then the Samma Samadhi is easy to develop. And then when you have Samma Samadhi, your Samma Sati becomes better. So it's a cycle, it goes on and on. So the starting point is to be aware, to conscious about things around you. So you directly know, you can perceive it, you can feel it, and you can cognizant with the event that is happening around you. Angry, do you know? You know. Happy, do you know? You know. So if you are aware of the state that you are in, that means you got sati. If you are not aware, then no mindfulness. Mindfulness is very low. I mean, the level of mindfulness can be developed over time. So the more practice you do, the more mindful it becomes. So there's one important formula for spring cleaning the mind with awareness. Okay? So remembering to observe how the mind moves. Okay? We don't spend much time observing the mind. We absorb a lot of things outside. Nice thing we see, hear things we hear. Good food we eat. So we tend to be outward bound, be more outward than inward. So mindfulness tells us that we have to be inward, and we have to be curious with things, and we don't judge, but we see things as it happens. Yeah, no like or dislike. So just see things and happen. So that is the state of the mindfulness that we can develop over time. And then here I want to summarize in terms of general mindfulness, normal mindfulness that we always do, and meditative mindfulness. So we need to remember that, while you can be mindful, you can be normal mindfulness, okay, that is directed towards the 6 sense doors outward. It's always outward, and you're not in control. You just follow whatever that arises, that you see, you hear, you're drawn by that. That is you're aware of a good music, you're aware of good food. These are all outwards. Then meditative awareness is more inward. Okay, you observe the mind and you can control. You have this opportunity to decide whether you want to be led by it, or you can decide whether you do not want to be led by it. So you can control that. Okay. Then this generally what we are experiencing on a daily basis. So if we are not mindful, we don't experience the now. Okay, we experience more of the thinking. Even though you see something, you don't see the thing. You think about the thing. You don't see as the thing as it really is, because of the nature of our mind. If it's defiled or stained, then you can't see things clearly. What you see will be half truth. You know, not fully what you see. You see with the perception and your interpretation of things that you are observing now, even hearing. Yeah, I also explained in my sharing last round, you know, how we are trapped through contact and feeling things. You know, from a sense base, you got contact, you got feeling, the feeling, then everything crowds already. You know, the moment the feeling arises, the mind puts in a lot more juice. You know, it packs in more stories. So when you have packed in more stories, you don't see the true nature of things. You see a padded story, like, you know. So one of the ways to solution to not fully believe what you see, like, you know, always maybe when you hear something, you always good to start off with a maybe. You see something, maybe, you know, not sure, maybe. So sometimes the maybe is the way to break your mind to believe things that you see or hear. Don't upright say, yes, this is it. I think this is right, you know. So as we know, the mind always deludes us, because the mind is already deluded. So the mind is deluding us. Us is that, you know, the one that is looking at things that we also get deluded. So it's always good for us to apply a little bit of break, say maybe. That will help us a bit. Okay. All right. Then daily awareness. These are the practices that you can do to keep our mind clean. Spring clean it every time. This is taken from Satipatthana Sutta, MN10 or DN22, the longer version. Satipatthana Sutta. Awareness of the four foundation, usually referred to as the four foundation of mindfulness. You can be aware of your body, you can be aware of your feelings, you can be aware of your thought, and also constantly reflect on the Dharma that we have learned. Keeping the mind wholesome and be present at this very moment, the now. How to keep the mind present at the moment? We can use any one of this technique to anchor us, to anchor our present moment as now, not to think, not to drift away to the past or the future. Past is a story, yeah, it's already happened, it's gone, but we dwell into it is like going back to eat all the stale food, you know. It's stale food. The mind is feeding on some stale style, smelly already, but we still want to go and eat those stale food. And then the future hasn't come, right? You think about the curry not cooked yet. So you are eating of something which is so futuristic. So let's not do that. Why not we just eat what we have right now? The mind state now. What is the state of mind right now? Periodically ask, what's the state of my mind right now? Am I happy? Am I not happy? And if you start practicing that way, you become more aware of yourself. You stay at the present point, at the present moment. And then for those who are interested to read the Satipatthana Sutta on your own, that's MN10 or DN22, the longer sutta. In the sutta, the Buddha described very clearly how do we do the body awareness, the present body awareness. That is to be aware of your posture. That currently we are seated, you are aware that you're sitting. Just scan your body that you are seated, and you scan from the tip of your head all the way to your feet. You know that you're seated, and you know the posture is upright. The buttock is on a chair. You can feel the pressure points here and there. There's one way to keep your mind now. Yeah. When you're walking, just know that you are walking, and you know your left, right, nothing else. You're eating, chew. Yeah. So if you start doing those kind of things, so you are then using posture as a way to anchor the present moment. The best of all is if you don't like your posture, you know, because your posture will change as you walk or sit and all that. But one thing you carry in your body throughout your life until you're dead is your breath, isn't it? Yeah, breathing is something that you carry throughout, you know. So when you breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, you know, you just take note of your breath. Nothing else to do, breathe lah. Remember you are alive lah, breathing lah. Like things to do, you just do your things. If you don't know what to do, take your breath. Just a moment, a second says, I'm alive, I'm breathing. This is my in-breath, this is my out-breath, this is my in-breath, this is my out-breath. So there's one way to clean the mind from dwelling into a lot of thinking. The whole exercise is not to think that much. Thinking useful things is all right. Thinking not useful thing is actually not too, that's where dukkha arises. You think and you cry over things that happened 10 years ago, already gone, already. Cry then. Why for cry now, you know? So this I think you can ask, hey, why am I doing this? Why so sentimental attached? So remember, even in a house, we also have sentimental things we want to keep. We take back and like that, and I look and look. So even the mind also has sentimental value. You know? A lot of things kept, they will take out periodically, you know. Don't have to wait for spring cleaning. They will periodically take out and you clean and you clean and you clean. You look at it, you look at it, look at it. So one way is to stop it by focusing on breath, or you can look at your body from 32 parts that we are made of 32 parts. This body is one piece with me. That is just the external outlook. But if you observe the inside, the outside and inside, you can see that, you know, your body is made of your head hair, body hair, right? Your teeth, the physical teeth, your nail, and your skin. These are the 5 physical appearances that we can see on the body. But definitely, if you take away the skin, we can tear our skin away and see it's, oh my God, there are plenty more things there, right? Your lung, your liver, your spleen. So that is one way of keeping ourselves right. Nothing to do, just look at your body and check out 32 parts. Okay, just go through all your body part, you know, from the outside to the inside, and then come back to outside, go inside, come to outside. Go. So they'll keep your mind anchored to the breath. All the 4 elements. 4 elements are usually called the great 4 elements: the earth, the fire, the wind, and the water. Right? The body is made out of that. Periodically, you know, when you breathe in and out, you recognize this is breath and it's air. You know, yeah, my body is taking in air, in and out, in and out. Yeah, and you drink water, you can see my body need water. Yeah? So these are the elements that keep this body going. So that's one aspect of it. And then you have feelings arises because of contact. Contact arises feeling. So what is the cause of feeling? What causes feeling to arise? Contact causes feeling to arise. Right, which you've got pleasant, unpleasant, or ambivalent. Ambivalent usually referred as neutral. And neutral is actually not so nice word because it doesn't correctly represent the neither pleasant nor unpleasant. That is ambivalent. Means not neutral, not neutral in the sense. So you got pleasant feeling. So when it's pleasant, you want more. Unpleasant, you don't like it. So your aversion kicks in. So you can see all these are tied together with the 5 mental hindrances. Pleasant is sensual desire. You want more. Passion, you want more. Ill will is unpleasant. Then you have aversion, detaching out. I don't want to throw it away. Ambivalent means you're not sure, means actually you are doubtful. You are uncertain. Delusion, and not knowing. So deluded, so you're not sure whether this is pleasant or unpleasant. So you can see feeling is also one way of us trapping that. And then thoughts, you have happy thoughts, angry thought, drifting thought. You can take note of your memory as well, your mind thoughts. Okay, and finally, you can do reflection on the Dharma. So whatever that we have discussed over Sunday in terms of Dharma sharing, something that strikes you, you can periodically recall it. Yeah, keep your mind clean by recalling whatever that you have heard on. So that recollection of Dharma strengthen your saddha, your I don't like the faith, the word faith, but usually they refer loosely I say is faith, like your faith arises. So it's saddha arising, or confidence in the teaching of the Buddha arises. You know, you can see these are all well interrelated and it's linked. Then a long list down there. So you can use 5 hindrances as a way, or 4 noble truths as a way, or the 5 khandhas as a way, or the 3 universal truth, that is anicca, dukkha, anatta as a way. You see everything as changing, suffering, and non-self, or the 12 link, paccicca samuppada. You see how cause-effect happens in things that you are in contact with. Okay, so this is reflective. The rest of all the other three methods are observation. You are looking at it and you note it and all that. Okay, finally, we are coming to the end. The reason why we need to spring clean our mind constantly, it has its own goodness, because default mind, you can't see things clearly. And when the mind is default, you can't see. You see half truth, maybe not truth at all, but you believe it's the truth. So mindfulness practice, constantly sweeping the mind is essential. If you can mop it, if you can scrub it. So you sweep, you mop, and you scrub your mind through the process that the Buddha has talked about in Satipatthana Sutra. The four foundation approach. You can start with the body, then your feeling, then your thoughts, then constantly reflecting the Dharma. So the purpose of mindfulness is for us to first know the mind, the state of our mind. Once you know the state of the mind, then you can apply the technique to train the mind. If it's unwholesome state, you try to move it to a wholesome state. And then able to do that over a long period of time, it will free the mind from the clutter that we have built up over the years. It's so thick that, we really got to scrub and scrub. Not only this life, even many, many more life to go. We got to chunkle it. We got to use spade to remove it. Maybe there are tons of rubbish down there need to be decluttered from the mind. So you can see is first knowing the mind, then train the mind, and then free the mind. So the last slide basically goes through the whole process of knowing the mind. So always good to take stock. How am I now, right now? What's the state of my mind? Okay, so take stock. If you can take stock at different checkpoints, don't leave the mind runs the whole day. Maybe you could come up with your own regular checkpoints, maybe 3 times a day. Breakfast one time, lunch one time, dinner one time. Eat that time, you just check your mind. So one way. If you don't like it, you can follow the Malay 5 times a day. When each time they call for prayers, you check your mind. You can use an external source, or you can put in your own timer. You can set on your phone a timer, maybe hourly. Every hourly, it will beep, 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 beep. Then you remind you that it's time for me to check my mind. Beep, 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 check your mind. Beep, 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 check your mind. So by having a constant practice like this, then you get a habitual, you habituate this good practice, and it becomes something that you constantly apply and take note. So state of the body, your feeling, your mind, keep checking. Just knowing it, not to do anything about it, just knowing it really. Okay? So by knowing it is already a very good thing, because the problem is that we do not know. You're right because you do not know. So once you say, I check the mind, I'm happy, good, maintain it. So one of the ways I did say is the 4 Brahma Viharas. You can use the 4 Brahma Viharas as your constant anchor. And then train the mind. Okay, train the mind. Once you know the mind state, you train the mind. If you're unwholesome, you apply the 4 right effort technique. Okay, to train the mind, and then replace the unwholesome with the wholesome, and then relax. Just replace it, and then finally, the last stage is after constant doing 1 and 2 for a long period of time. You can begin to see that slowly over time, your mind is being freed from all the defilements, the kilesas. Over a long period of time, it's slowly been eroded away through your sweeping, through your mopping, and through your scrubbing. Okay, so that's it for the spring cleaning for this morning Dharma sharing. So before I end, may I wish all of you all happy Chinese New Year. Is going to be the year of the tiger, right? Yeah, year of the tiger. So hopefully the tiger is going to be, it has a lot of positive value there. So hopefully you have the tiger value, positive value, and you'll be determined to try some of this thing that we talk about. Okay, with that, I pass the control back to Brother Terence. Okay, start.
Brother KC for today's sharing. That reminds me of the story of Chula Pandaka. when you see he is using the clean cloth and clean up the spring cleaning, the cloth become dirty and he became an arahant. So let's see whether we can achieve the stage. Yeah. Okay. With that, let's dedicate some merits to all beings, seen and unseen. Wow. Give us a few seconds to calm our mind. Akasata cha bummata devanaga mahidika punyang tam anumoditva chiram rakantu lokasasanang etawata champehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe buddha sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. May all beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, having shared these merits, long protect the Buddha's dispensation. To that extent, by us, merits has been acquired and collected. May all deities, all creatures, may all beings rejoice for the achievement of all successes. Transfer our merits to the departed. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Let this merits occur for my relatives. May they be well and happy. Aspirations. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo. Satang samagamo hotu yavani bana patiya. For the grace of this marriage that I acquired, may I never follow the foolish, but only the wise, until the time I attain final happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for watching. For other videos, please visit the links below. Bye bye for now. See you all next week.